Hello my people, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Agnes. In today's tutorial I will show you how to make this diamond lace shirt. It's oversized, but of course you can change the size and you can crochet this in any size, because I'll be showing you how you can do that. It is very versatile. You can also change the length if you like, and you can add buttons if you like, so it's quite easy to adjust. It's versatile. The written pattern is going to be available on my online shops. I'm going to leave the links in the description box in case you want the written pattern. So yeah, let's go straight into it. So today I'm going to be using this yarn. It's mercerized cotton yarn, 100%, and it's Kira from Volley 50 grams per skein, 125 meters each ball. It recommends a 2.5 to 3.5 millimeter hook, but I'm going to be using a 3.0 millimeter hook, so right in the middle, and it is a size 2 or sport yarn. You can use any other yarn available to you. Scissors, you're going to need a tape measure to measure the length of your whatever. And then you're going to also need stitch markers, the length of your shirt. So this is my back panel, and I'm going to show you the whole construction, then do a small swatch just to show you how to do the diamond stitch. So for this shirt we are going to start, the pattern is for these diamonds is a multiple of 12, so each diamond is 12. So you see where we start here, we started with a double crochet row, and then we have this base for the diamonds. This is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So 9 for my size, which is an extra small stroke small. If you're doing like a medium stroke large, then you're going to do +2 of those, that is 11, because we want to have an odd number of diamonds for the back panel. So for the back panel it's an odd number of diamonds. Mine is 9. If you're doing like a medium, you're going to do 11, and then if you're doing like an extra large, you will do 13. Okay, so an odd number, and it is a multiple of 12. The foundation chain will be a multiple of 12 plus 3, which is our turning chain. So that is that, and then you're just going to continue working that all the way up until you get to this part here. You see this row right here, which looks like our beginning row, and then you will work again a double crochet row to close that. My back panel is about 22 inches wide. Okay, 22 inches wide, and for the centimeters, that's about 56 centimeters. So that is my back. For the length, I have about 21.5 inches, no, 20, okay, it's 22 also, so it's like a square. So I have 22 inches long for the back panel, and that will be the same length as the front panels, and I have 48 rows from the start to the end. I have 48 rows. Yeah, so for the here, it's for the foundation chain, it would be this 9 times 12, because each diamond is 12, right? 9 times 12 plus 3, that would be my foundation chain. So here we have the front panels, and why we started with an odd number of diamonds, because we are leaving one diamond in the middle. So this for the front panels, mine at the beginning was 9 for the back panel, which means for the front panel I'm doing 4 4, and then we have 1 left here. So which means my foundation chain for these 4 will be 12, because each diamond is 12 stitches. 12 times 4 plus 3, which is the turning chain. Also here will be 12 times 4 plus 3, which is the turning chain. So that will be a foundation chain if you're doing the same size as me. But if you're doing, for example, 11 for your back panel, it will now be 5 5. So 5 times 12, 5 times 12 plus 3, which is your turning chain. And you'll do the same number of rows all the way to the top, just like you had with the back panel. So I hope that explanation is sufficient enough, because now I'm going to show you how to do the stitch, and then you can just use that knowledge to do whichever, how many diamonds you want on your shirt. And yeah, it's just literally that simple. So you need to know it's a multiple of 12 plus 3 at the end, and it is an odd number of diamonds that you need to start with, and the front panels will be an even number because we are leaving only one diamond here. So let's go to the pattern. All right, so we are going to start with a foundation chain, which is a multiple of 12 plus 3. Okay, so I'm going to make a slip knot and then chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to do this 2 more times. So I want 3 diamonds for this sample, and make sure your chains are loose. I have 36 chains, and now I'm going to add 3 more chains. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then for 1 you are going to yarn over, and then you're going to skip the first 2, and into the 3rd stitch you're going to make a double crochet. So you can choose to work in these loops at the behind the 3rd loop, or this other one. So double crochet, and then you are going to make a double crochet in every chain until you get to the end of the chain. So this double crochet row will be also your last double crochet row when you're done with the length of your shirt, and there will be the same number of double crochets at the top. All right, so double crochet in every stitch until you get to the end. All right, so I'm getting to the end, and this is my last double crochet stitch. Okay, so now we have our double crochet row. So for row 2, it's going to be now when we start the diamond. So you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, each beginning and each end will be different for the 5 rows of the diamond, so you will need to take note of that. So you're going to, this chain counts as a stitch, so you don't count this first stitch. So you're going to skip the first stitch and the second stitch. You skip the first 2 stitches, and then into the 3rd stitch you're going to make a double crochet. Okay, so you skip these first 2, make a double crochet into the 3rd stitch, and then in the next 3 stitches, so that you have a total of 4 double crochets. All right, so now you're going to chain 1, yarn over, and you're going to skip the next stitch, and into the next stitch skip 1, and then 4 double crochets into the next 4 stitches. Okay, so that's 1 diamond that we have there, and then you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and into the 4th stitch make a double crochet, and into the next until you have a total of 4 double crochets. Then chain 1. So we are working on our 2nd diamond, which is like this. Chain 1, skip 1, and then 4 double crochets into the next 4 stitches. So our 2nd one is done, and then we are just going to repeat that, so which means you chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 3, 4 double crochets in the next 4 stitches. Chain 1, skip 1, 4 double crochets, the next 4 stitches, So you have one stitch left and then a chain. Then you're going to chain one and then skip one stitch, and on top of that first turning chain you are going to make a double crochet, and this is how it looks like. So you start with the chain, you end with one double crochet. This because this chain counts as a stitch. So that's our first row. So getting to the end, you have 2 stitches left. All right, and then you're going to chain one, skip one, and in the very last stitch you're going to make your last double crochet like that. So that's your row. Next row is you're going to chain 3, turn your work, and this is row 3. So you're going to yarn over, and in this first chain space, in that chain 1 space, you're going to make a double crochet. So this means these are 2 stitches because the chain 3 counts as a stitch. And then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, and you're going to skip 2 stitches. So skip 1, skip 2, and then double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then in this chain 1 space next, make 2 double crochets in there, and then 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches. So in total you have 6 double crochets. Okay, and then you will chain 3. In the chain 4 space, you're going to work only 2 double crochets like that. Chain 3, skip 2, and then 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, so that you have a total of 6. And you're just going to repeat this pattern. I'll see you when you come into the end. It looks like this. So what you do is chain 3 after making that 6 double crochet pattern there, chain 3, and into the chain 5 space you're going to make a double crochet, and then on top of that chain 3 you count 1, 2, 3. Into that third chain you make your second double crochet. So it mimics the start and the end. As you can see, the start will always look the same as the end. All right, so now the next row, which is like to close our diamond, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, and chain 3 counts as a stitch, so you're not working in that very first stitch, but go into the second stitch and make a double crochet, and then into that chain space, the chain 3 space, you're going to make 2 double crochets, so that we have a total of 4 double crochets at the beginning, 4 stitches at the beginning. Okay, like that. And then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to skip 2, and into the third stitch and fourth stitch you are going to make double crochets. So 2 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 3, skip 2, into the next chain space, make 2 double crochets close to the 2 double crochets in the previous row, and then make 2 double crochets on top of those double crochets in the previous row, 2 double crochets in the next chain space. So you have a total of 6 double crochets. Okay, and then you're just going to repeat. So you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 2 double crochets, chain 3, skip 2, 2 double crochets in the chain, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, then 2 double crochets in the chain space. That's a total of 6, and chain 3, skip 2, then 2 double crochets, in the next 2 stitches, chain 3. Now we're coming to the end, so you're going to make 2 double crochets in that chain space, and then 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, which means one is on top of this double crochet, and then the last one, the 4th one, is on 3rd chain on top of that chain. Okay, like that. So our diamond is closed, okay, but we already started on this other diamond. So now we are going to make this other row where we start with a chain 5. You are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now let's begin on row 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, row 5. So you chain 5, you skip the next 2 stitches, and then in stitch 3 and 4 you make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and then in this first chain space you're going to make 2 double crochets, so you have a total of 4 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, because this row where we start with a chain 5 will always have the chain 4s in between. Okay, so then you're going to skip these 2 stitches, and then into your next chain space you're going to make 2 double crochets, then 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, so you have a total of 4. Chain 1, you're going to skip 2 stitches here, and then excuse me, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and 2 double crochets in the chain space, so you have a total of 4, like that. All right, and now we're just going to repeat this, which means you chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 2 double crochets in the chain space, 2 double crochets in the next 2 chains, chain 1, skip 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, 2 double crochets in the chain space, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, you chain 4, skip 2 double crochets in the chain space, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, so you have a total of 4, and then you're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and your last double crochet will be on top of that chain 3, like that. All right, so that is row 5. So for row 6 you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, chain 3 counts as a stitch, so you, just like we did here, you go into the chain 1 space, make a double crochet, that is 1, and then you go into the next 2 stitches, make 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, so you have a total of 4 stitches, then chain 1, 2, 3, go into the chain 4 space here, make 2 double crochets in that chain 4 space, then chain 1, 2, 3, skip 2 stitches, then 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and it looks like this. Then you're going to chain 3, 2 double crochets in the chain 4 space, chain 3, skip 2, then you work 6 double crochets. chain 3, 2 double crochets in the chain space, chain 3, skip 2, double crochet in the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the chain. We started with 4 stitches, so we also end with 4 stitches. So double crochet in the chain space and then double crochet on top of in the 3rd chain. So 1, 2, 3, double crochet in the on top of the 3rd chain. That will be your last stitch. Next is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th row. Chain 3. So you see the 7th row is where we close off the diamond. So chain 3, turn your work, chain 3 counts as a stitch. In the 2nd stitch, make a double crochet, and then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2 stitches, and then in the chain space you're going to make 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets on the in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 double crochets in the next chain space. So you have 6, and you're just going to repeat like what we did here. So you chain 3, skip 2, 2 double crochets on top to finish that diamond, and then chain 3, sorry, skip 2, 2 double crochets in the chain space, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, two double crochets in the chain space, 1, 2, 3, chain 3, skip 2, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, chain 3, skip 2, go into the next chain space, 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 double crochets in the next chain space to make it 6. And then once you get to the end of the row, you're going to chain 3, skip 2, and then 2 double crochets to end. So one is on top of that chain, on that double crochet stitch, and then the last one is on top of the chain 3. And there you go. Next is this row of where we chain 5. So I'll show you. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn your work, you're going to skip the first 2 stitches and then go into the chain space and make 2 double crochets in the chain space, and then 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, so that you have a total of 4. Chain 1, skip 2, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 double crochets in the next chain space. Okay, so you have chain 5, 4 double crochets, chain 1, skip 2, 4 double crochets, and then what comes next is chain 4. Like I said, with this row you always chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle of the between the diamonds. When you start your chain 5, between the diamonds you're chaining 4. Chain 4, skip these 2 stitches, and then in the next chain space here you make 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches to make a total of 4. Chain 1, skip 2, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, 2 double crochets in the chain space. Looks like that. Chain 4, skip 2, in total you should have 4 double crochets. Chain 1, skip 2, then 4 double crochets. And at this point you just need to finish it off like we did here, this second row. So just chain 1, skip 1, and on top of that chain 3 you make your last double crochet. So that's how you are going to keep repeating this. Our diamond is made of like 5 rows, so you will repeat rows 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, like that. So the next row will be this row 3, like that. So you keep repeating and make sure your diamonds are like that. Don't forget this row here. Okay, and yeah, that's the pattern. So I have 3 diamonds here, but for my back panel I did 9, and you'll do the calculations for yours. You can do 9 if you're doing an extra small stroke small and medium stroke large. You can do 11. The next 2 sizes you can do 13, and the next you can do 15, like that. All right, so once you have the length of your shirt, we will be ending with this row where we start with the chain 5. Okay, this same row that I've ended with here will be the last row before you do the double crochet row. So once you have your length, let's say I wanted to end my pattern here, you are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you are going to make double crochets in every stitch. So in this first chain space you'll make a double crochet and make a double crochet on top of every previous stitch in the previous row, like that. And then in this chain 1 you'll make only 1 double crochet, and then you'll go ahead and double crochet in every stitch. And then in this chain 4 stitch you're going to make only 3. Okay, only 3 double crochets in that chain 4. So that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. And then just continue to make double crochets in every stitch. In the chain 1 make only 1 stitch. Once you get to the chain 4 make only 3 stitches. And of course in the end you're making 1 double crochet in the chain 5 stitch, and then the last 1 double crochet should be on top of that chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. So in the 3rd chain I make my last double crochet, and as you can tell the first row and the last row have the same number of stitches. So just continue to do that. So you'll do the front panels, you'll do the back panels, and then we will meet to assemble, and then we'll do the sleeves. So here we want to leave the neckline before we attach these two panels to the back panel. So on the back panel I want to leave 6 inches for the neckline, for my size, but you can leave 7 or 8 if you're doing a bigger size. Okay, so we are going to measure that from the middle. So I have the same number of stitches on the left side as the same as on the right side. So from my corner here to my stitch marker, I counted the same number of stitches as to the other side. I think I have about 30 something, 40 something, yeah. So same number of stitches on both sides, and in the middle you leave 6 to 8 inches for the neckline. So we are going to join until we get to where the stitch marker is, same as the other side. I already started joining mine until I get to where the stitch marker is, and then we will leave this for the collar. All right, so I'm joining using a darning needle, but you can use a slip stitch or a single crochet depending on what you like to join with. As long as you sew these panels together, doesn't matter how you do it, just gets the job done. So the panels are sewed together, leaving this part here, which is 6 inches, but you can do more or less, depends on what you like. And now for the sleeves, I went on and did the sleeve. Here we have the sleeve. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 12, then plus 3 for the foundation chain, right? And I went ahead and did only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows. Okay, so this is about 14 inches wide, so the circumference will definitely be for the sleeve will be 7 inches. But if you're doing this is for like an extra small. If you're doing a bigger size like medium and large, then you can add 12 more stitches on this. And if you're doing an XL and on, you can add 2 of these, so that's plus 24 chains. So yeah, and for the length you can always do longer or shorter. So we are going to sew these. So just going to lay them on the side, find the middle part here, the middle part of the front and back panel, so it should be the same as the middle part of this sleeve, which is about here, and then you just sew from one end to the other end. Okay, and then when you're done with that, you do the other side, and once we have the sleeves on, then we come sew the sides. Okay, so let's do that. So you're going to fold the shirt over, and we are going to sew from the bottom all the way to the armhole, underarm, and then to the side of the sleeve. Also the other side like that, or you can start from the sleeve and arm all the way to the bottom, depends on what you like. So just sew that together on the wrong side or whichever method you're using, and then we'll come and do the collar. So once we have all the sides sewed, we are going to do the collar like this, from one end around the neckline all the way back here. So for the collar, I'm going to be using the double crochet stitch only. To reattach the yarn right here at the edge, set your hook in that very first stitch, reattach your yarn, and we are going to chain 2, 1, 2. Chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so in this very first stitch I'm going to make a double crochet, and I'm going to go in every stitch with a double crochet all around the collar. So work double crochets around the collar until you get to the other corner. So I went all around and I'm coming to the end. So to finish it off, we are just going to make double crochets in the remaining stitches. All right, so this is the end of row 1, and for row 2 you're going to chain 2 and we're going to make an increase. So you turn your work, and in this first stitch we are going to make 2 double crochets. So that's 1, go into the same stitch, make another double crochet to make an increase, and we'll be making an increase at the start and at the end of the row. So now go into every stitch with a double crochet, and when you get to the end, make an increase. Coming to the end of row 2 of the collar, and in that very last stitch we are going to make an increase. So in here, instead of 1 double crochet, I will input 2 double crochets in that very last stitch. So we've made an increase, and then chain 2, turn my work, and for row 3 is going to be a repeat of row 2. So I will make 2 double crochets in that very first stitch. It's 1, 2, so we made an increase, and then 1 double crochet in every stitch, and once you get to the end, it's 2 double crochets in that very last stitch. So repeat row 2 until you get to the collar length that you like. I will come let you know how many rows I've done and how many inches I've done. So see you when you're done. Right, so I did 8 rows in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and about 3.5 inches. So I want to work single crochet stitches along the collar, also at the bottom, but I want to work on this side because since it's the collar, when you fold it, then you know this now becomes the right side, right? So I want to work single crochets until I get to this point where I started the collar, then reattach my yarn to the other side. So let's see. Chain 1, and I'll work single crochets evenly. Just to even it out because it looks a little rough, so that it looks better on the edges. So evenly work single crochets. For the edge, okay? So I'll work until I get to this point. So it looks more even here. I want to work single crochets on this side too, but now this would be the wrong side, so I will start from the bottom. So what I will do is simply go till the end of this double crochet row, and then chain 1, cut off my yarn, all right. So you'll work single crochets on this other side, and in this case we'll begin at the bottom while going up the collar, okay, along this side of the collar, so that it is on facing the same side. Okay, so reattach your yarn here and work single crochets all the way to the top of the collar. So now we add a clean edging of single crochets at the front of the panels, the front panels, so that it looks neater. So reattach your yarn at the very bottom on the right side of your work, chain 1, and you're going to work single crochets evenly along that front of the panel. the edging, the side. So just work single crochets evenly until you get to the top where we have our collar, and then I'll meet you there. All right, so we worked single crochets all the way to the top where we have the start of our collar, and you're just going to slip stitch to finish that row, and that's it. But if you want to add buttons, then you're going to do more rows of single crochet. So you're just going to be coming up and down with single crochet rows until you have about like 5-6 rows, and then you can add buttons. So you're going to cut off the yarn and go to the other side to do the same. As you can see, we did the single crochet row of the collar on the other side so that when you fold it, it's quite clean. All right, so on the other side, you're going to start from up going down so that you have them all facing on the right side. Then you work all the way to the bottom, cut off your yarn. If you're doing collar, then buttons, then add buttonholes also. And yeah, so that's our shirt. I hope you like it, and please remember to subscribe, share, and visit my online shops on Etsy or yancy.com. The links are in the description box in case you want a written pattern. And yeah, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.